Hey guys, welcome to the Vanquish Roundtable. I'm looking for Austin and I can't seem to find... Dude, I know we're doing like a Deadpool themed video, but like, can you take this like a little more seriously? Like, could you take off the hoodie? Anyway, so like, we're doing Deadpool. Well, I guess as you can see by our paraphernalia and Austin's sick get up, we're doing Deadpool this week, filming again from Top End Gaming. But so I guess kind of the main thing we're going to talk about today is basically just the general discussion on the Deadpool movie. So Austin, do you want to kind of start us off with let's start off with like, what way do you think they're going to portray Deadpool? Because there's lots of, even though he's a singular character, he has like a lot of different portrayals in like the comic universe. How do you think he's going to be portrayed in the movie?
That's heavily debated right now because I've noticed that there's been this weird like backlash against the hype lately because it started out everyone was just psyched that a Deadpool movie was possible, and now that it's like so built up and people who weren't really fans before, they've seen the trailers, they're now starting to go like, oh, this looks like it'll just be like immature jokes and like 12-year-old humor or whatever. And that's the one thing that worries me, is that there's like basically two versions of Deadpool. There's like a dark, like scarred person who uses humor as like a way to escape his feelings or whatever, and then there's the guy who's just like an R-rated Bugs Bunny. From what I've seen, they have characters like Blind Owl, they have Weasel. It's about his origin, so I feel like there's a good chance that they're going to be based on more of the old school Deadpool that isn't as like LOL chimichanga, that kind of thing. But at the same time, like the delivery of the humor in the trailers is also might be a little over the top. So I guess I'll just have to see. But I'm really hoping that, based on the characters and the story and everything, they're drawing inspiration from that Deadpool.
Like, I enjoyed the Deadpool game, but it was that kind of like that, arguably that overly silly version of
I definitely
Deadpool.
Don't want voices in his head. That whole run is like the worst thing ever. I don't want 90% of the dialogue to be him talking to himself and
but like even like his big thing is like breaking the fourth wall. Like I think that they're gonna, like, just from what I've seen in the trailer, I feel like they're gonna do it like well.
And that's another thing that worries me too, is at originally the fourth wall thing was kind of like ambiguous and subtle.
Right, yeah.
Like he would mention one of the writers who writes his comics, and it would just be sort of like, wait, does he know? I've always thought it was cool when it was left ambiguous, and then once Daniel Way jumped in, it was sort of like he was looking at the audience every 5 seconds.
Right. Yeah. I completely agree with you. I think it's gonna be like, of course, whenever they do a comic character in the movie, they typically, no matter how faithful they are to the original telling, they always kind of change it a little bit for the movie purposes. And I think they're doing that with the Deadpool really well. I think that they're going to be doing like a kind of like you said, like a kind of a darker side of him, kind of his origins, but also they're going to stick with they're going to add the humor. But I think a big plus to me is that they're going to be trying to, I've heard that they're going to be adding this to like Marvel continuity, like with the X-Men movies. But I feel as though the way they're doing it with the comic books, it's going to be done nicely. I think it's good that they're adding it into continuity. That kind of makes it be a little more realistic in terms like it won't be too crazy over the top in terms of like a superhero movie.
That's definitely what I hope. I also hope that the writers didn't take any notes from Reddit, because if you look on Reddit, like every week there's a post that's like, oh, there should be a scene where Deadpool looks in the camera and goes, haha, thumbs up, and like punches someone in the face and jumps out a window. It's like, it'll be just a skit show movie.
I really hope writers everywhere don't take advice from people from Reddit.
It's bad, and like. That's just the thing. Like, if this movie ends up being that kind of Deadpool, like, it's on you, Reddit. Like,
this is your fault. This is your fault.
It's your fault.
So what do you think will happen in terms of like characters? Because we've seen some in the trailers, some old Deadpool villains. We've seen some X-Men like Colossus. So like, do we think like I guess a big person like Cable or Wolverine will be in it?
I would love Cable for to be in that. Like, that's my favorite team up in most of Marvel. Like, I just love Cable and Deadpool's really good series. Another one I hope they take inspiration from.
Right.
But like Deadpool definitely works best when he's teaming up with people, because like Deadpool can be a little overwhelming if it's just him the whole time. So it's good to have someone to play off of who's maybe kind of a straight man. So I'm excited about Colossus. I hope he's more than just that one scene they've teased at.
Yeah, and I feel like they'll do more like probably like Cable would be in it more like than like Wolverine, because like I think Hugh Jackman's almost done with being Wolverine anyway, so they probably wouldn't throw him in like a cameo situation.
One cameo, that's all I need, man. Just one cameo Wolverine.
Just throw Wolverine, like Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, like as cameos and just X movies. Like, I don't even want another actor. Just throw him in like cameos. Just have him do like little scenes or whatever.
Great.
But so guys, what do you think? What type of Deadpool do you think they're going to show? Do you like the kind of more goofy style Deadpool? Do you want to see that kind of darker Deadpool? Or just kind of, what are you guys looking for in this upcoming film? Austin, is there anything else you want to say? Anything else we got?
Yeah, if you haven't read any Deadpool, I definitely recommend the Joe Kelly series, and the Remender Uncanny X-Force is probably my favorite Deadpool ever. So if you want to brush up on some Deadpool before the movie, definitely check those out.
Yeah. Uncanny X-Force is really good, and some of the like Deadpool versus like random people in the Marvel Universe is sometimes pretty good. Like
I haven't read any of those.
There's going Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. That was a good one.
That was a pretty good one, yeah.
Yeah, Deadpool versus Carnage was okay. That's kind of leaning towards that's like kind of like I think a nice middle ground between like it's the silly Deadpool and like the dark Deadpool. Like I think it's like acceptable because it's mostly a fight comic anyway. Mm-hmm. But guys, again, we're filming from Top End Gaming, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Woo!